Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Mystery in Our History podcast, to this special mini-sode. I'm JR, that's Chris, and
Yep.
we are here today to talk to you about an update that we promised you.
We promised, and we're going to deliver.
Yep. So if you have been living under a rock, then you are unaware that Ghislaine Maxwell, the girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, has finally been taken into custody by the FBI and arrested.
Yeah. And
what was it? Less than 24 hours after being arrested and taken into custody, she tested positive for COVID-19.
for COVID-19, yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. So the thing about this is, and first, I think we should just both go on record saying that Ghislaine Maxwell did not kill herself.
Yeah. All right. So
We want to make
right before,
before anything else happens. At this point, I think that's very important. I think that Hillary Clinton's cell phones should be being monitored around the clock to make sure that she's not calling in any hitmen. But I think it's important to understand that the gestation period for COVID-19 is 7 to 14 days. Right, before you start showing symptoms. So if she tested positive for COVID-19, it does not mean that she is showing symptoms. It simply means that it's in her system, which means she could have gotten it at any time or been exposed to it at any time during the arrest or before.
Correct.
Or after,
Correct.
right? My thing is that if she has been in hiding since, like, what? When did we do this fucking episode? Like October of last year?
Yeah, I want to say it was
Jeffrey
definitely
Epstein
before I
was around
moved.
there, right?
So it was 2019.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking. She's been in hiding for over 6 months easily, over 9 months maybe. So if she's been in hiding and isolated for that amount of time, where would she have gotten exposed to COVID-19?
Right. And here's the other weird thing, right, is the state that she was caught in, the state that I live in.
New Hampshire, right? I was going to bring that up.
We have been doing really good against COVID. We have been using proper precautions to
social distancing guidelines.
Yep, and I believe we were in. I forget what the green stood for, but we were green on the map of the U.S. and there were 2 states.
So there are 3 states.
3 now.
It looks like 2 states because Rhode Island doesn't count. They're just mini Connecticut, but
it's true.
I know.
They barely count as a state.
It's Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire at the last check were the only 3 states that were. They were on pace to contain COVID-19, and I think they were the only 3 states that week to week went down in COVID positive tests and death. Like all the stats across the board for COVID went down.
Yeah,
I think they were the only 3 states that were able to manage that. And I think there's another thing that New Hampshire and Connecticut and Rhode Island are too, but I can't remember as far as this pandemic goes. But yeah, so that's another thing is like the percentage, the chance that she would have been exposed to it is greatly reduced due to the state that she was hiding in.
Correct. And it makes me wonder too, where in the state she was hiding.
Yep.
Was it up north? Was it south? Because in New Hampshire, you're going to get a completely different experience depending on where you go in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
If you go to southern New Hampshire on the Mass border, you might as well just be in Massachusetts. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very
Mass-holish.
Urban. Yeah, it's very urban. It's just we have cities, we have Nashua's right there on the border,
more densely populated.
Right, Salem's over on the border there. Big cities. And I used to live in that area too. And recently I just moved up north which is a completely different thing. And here's the thing is like I moved up north and I say that, but I'm more like in the middle of the state now.
Right.
Where it's a little bit more country. If you go a couple towns over, I'm further out from Concord. That's probably the closest big city that I have to me.
Okay.
But very different attitude, very different lifestyle, very country out here. You see people growing their food and doing whatever. And then if you go another hour north of where I am, it's sticks. You're literally in the mountains.
You might as well be in Canada.
Yeah, we got a friend who lives up that way. And literally to get to his house, he lives on a dirt road. He is, I want to say 40 minutes off the exit, and it's an hour on the highway.
Right.
Like, it is crazy.
It's far.
He is in the mountains.
Yeah.
So where, I don't know, but everyone's taking COVID seriously. So, yeah. My question, begs the question, where was she?
And so I think if we're going to dive down the conspiracy rabbit hole, right? Because I think we're still, you and I think are still on the same page of Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
If he's dead, he didn't kill himself, which is, if you go back and listen to our Epstein episode, there's a possibility he's still alive living on an island somewhere.
Yeah.
However, I don't remember if I brought this up during the episode, but I actually met someone whose roommate or girlfriend, I can't remember, I think it was girlfriend, was in the room for the Jeffrey Epstein autopsy.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow.
And described his oddly, remember, because like all those girls had said like he had a weird shaped dick.
It was egg shaped.
Yeah. And
I'm going to go on record and say it's egg shaped.
She essentially said that was his dick.
Hey.
So that kind of puts a damper on the faked his death part. But yeah. We believe that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. And now Jizzylane Maxwell, I refuse to call her by her real name, because I think it's spelt like Jizzylane or something. I don't know if I know.
Yeah, it's like Ghislaine or something like that. So
Jizzylane, a day after getting taken into custody, is now has been diagnosed or tested positive for COVID. My thing is this. If she's, there are a lot of people that benefited from Jeffrey Epstein's death, right?
Yeah.
That's the conspiracy. A lot of people had a reason for Jeffrey Epstein to never talk to anyone about anything.
Right. There's a lot of people in high places that had ties to him.
Right.
Whether I don't know. I'm not going to say every tie to this guy was a pedophile, but a lot of them were.
Yeah.
It's impossible to say everyone was. I don't know that.
A lot of people wanted him dead.
Right.
So it's safe to assume the same amount of people would have a good reason to want Jizzylane to meet the same fate.
Agreed.
Because she was his girlfriend, quote unquote. Right. And she also was like, wasn't she in charge of recruiting these like 12-year-old girls or however old they were?
From my understanding,
to come and get raped in a sex dungeon.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, it would be very easy to just say, oh, she's got COVID. And then wait a couple of weeks. Oh, now, like make her, hold her hostage in the medical area, right? Mm-hmm. And then a couple weeks after that, oh, darn, she died. She lost her battle with COVID-19. Oh, darn.
Do we know what day she was taken into custody? I don't know the exact day. I want to say it was the 2nd or the 1st.
Let me look it up.
Of July. Yeah, if you can look that up. For everyone at home, here's a reference for you. We're recording this on the 9th of July.
All right. Let's see. All right. Let's pause. Well, quick word from our sponsors while JR looks this shit up.
Okay.
And we're back.
We're back.
Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested on Thursday, July 2nd.
Yep.
And shortly thereafter, it was announced that she had COVID-19.
Right. Exactly. And again, for everyone's reference at home, today is the 9th of July that we're recording this. And I don't remember when I saved this picture, but we're going to put it up on the screen for you. So I actually saved this on Monday, July 6th. I saw this picture. It's a screen cap from the website Fox News. And it says, Trump tweets that he only slept with Epstein and Ghislaine's 14-year-old escorts once or twice. Bad headline. Like, no good anywhere.
Wait,
there, right?
Fox News had a headline that said, Trump admitted to?
Yep. It says, Trump tweets that he only slept with Epstein and Ghislaine's 14-year-old escorts once or twice. Which the headline really has nothing to do with anything. If he did, gross, disgusting. Put him away.
Right. But that's Fox News. That's his outlet.
Right.
Those are his guys.
But here's the weirdest thing about this is this was published on July 11th, 2020. As you can see, it's circled right here on the picture. It says published July 11th, 2020. So what's the end game here?
So this didn't actually happen yet.
Apparently not, right? Apparently this is
because I haven't seen anyone else
to come out, or
I haven't seen anyone else tweeting this, or I haven't seen any other news outlets. I feel like that would be everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
If the president tweeted, "I only slept with a 14-year-old once or twice," I feel like that would be literally everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It would be everywhere. I mean, are you kidding? People jump at the chance to tear Donald Trump down, and and I don't blame half the people. He's right. A monster human.
I mean, it's literally the rest of the news day shuts down every time the guy says China virus, and you're gonna tell me that I haven't heard anything about him fucking a 14-year-old?
Right. Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Exactly. The news will have a fucking conniption over China virus, but is going to keep quiet about the 14-year-old who slept with or whatever.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
I'm going to say alleged because this guy likes to go after people he allegedly slept with.
Right. Well, I mean, and this is a story that technically doesn't exist, right? It's 2 days away, so we may have to do another update on the 11th or 12th, whether or not this actually takes place, and then is this a QAnon thing that we're getting into now?
That one, no. I mean, they are part of the QAnon stuff. Both Epstein and Ghislaine.
Jizzylane,
sorry. They are part of it. I guess they are the main bad guys, sort of say, of the QAnon thing,
right? With
the rest of the pedophiles out there. And it ties into a lot of other things. QAnon ties into everything. That's the weird thing.
But I was just curious, is like, because you know how QAnon always like throws stuff out there, and then the president tweets or something, and it's like, oh, there's the connection, because that's that was essentially all 3 fucking QAnon episodes that we did. That was the running theme. Basically.
Yeah, totally.
So, but that's insane. I'm going to make the prediction now that this is how it's going to go down, right? She's been diagnosed or tested positive, if you will, with COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
I think prior to...
I think they're going to draw it out.
I think
they're going to draw it out.
I don't think this is just going to be oh my God, she died. I think it's going to be...
Conditions are worsening.
Correct.
She's in critical
it's going to be a whole thing. Oh, now she's on a ventilator. And the thing is that like there have been studies that have come out now that say the ventilator is what's killing people.
Yeah.
Is like people are going on the ventilator and dying because of the ventilator. So I think she's going to worsen, and then she's going to go on the ventilator. And if she gets symptoms of COVID-19, I don't see her surviving it. That's what I'm going to say. I don't see any way for her to survive having COVID-19. And I also am going to go on record saying I don't think she actually has COVID-19. If she dies, I don't think it's from COVID-19. I think it's because Epstein told her all of his secrets. She knew everything. And I think there had to be, this is like the people that want her dead, the fact that there's a pandemic going on right now is perfect for assassination. It's like you could not ask for a better scenario with which to make someone die and have little to no questions asked.
Well, it's very easy. Yeah, well, exactly what you're saying. It's very easy to have her die and then just be like, well, blame it on the COVID, wipe your hands clean and move on.
Away. Correct.
Where with Epstein, I guess they maybe didn't have that luxury. They had to make it look like a suicide or whatever. I guarantee you, if COVID was a thing, when Epstein was in jail, he would have died of COVID.
Oh, absolutely.
Or at least had it,
or
whatever. If we were going
through a pandemic when Epstein was in prison, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So 100% off topic, and I told you about this earlier, and we'll throw it up on the screen for people to check out. But unrelated to everything, America's sweetheart and one of the oldest cold cases, I think, isn't it? Not oldest, I should say, but one of the more well-known cold cases of JonBenet Ramsey.
Yep.
If anyone hasn't known, JonBenet Ramsey was what was she, like a Miss America pageant? Basically, she was she was in child pageantry. I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly what it was.
She was America's little darling, essentially.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't mind me, by the way. For all of you watching on YouTube, I'm just struggling with like my computer and wires and shit. just everything is just going downhill very fast for me right now.
So to give a quick synopsis of the Benet case, JonBenet Ramsey case, basically, she was last seen alive with her dad. Was basically, I believe the family went out somewhere, came back, and she was found dead. Basically, at that point, instead of calling the police and opening up an active crime scene, they looked around the house for clues. They let the public in. They basically contaminated the whole scene. And then later, the dad found the body in the basement and moved it, brought it upstairs, all that kind of stuff. The whole thing is a shit show. I'm probably butchering a lot of this. It's been a while since I've heard it.
I kind of want to do an episode on that, but I also don't want to like open the fucking rabbit hole and can of worms to start doing true crime.
Yeah.
Either.
But long story short, this picture came up. If you take a look, it's a picture of JonBenet Ramsey, and background is someone who looks exactly like Ghislaine Maxwell. And then there's a bunch of pictures from her from the side. The same outline of the face, same nose structure, same eyebrows. It's very, very, very eerie.
Everything. It's like the opposite of those Jeffrey Epstein photos that we had, where like nothing matched. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. So that is the update we have for you now. It's pretty crazy that she's in that photo. I'd love to dig deeper into that connection.
Yeah, right? I mean, who knows? Because, again, that whole, and I know, again, we don't really want to get into true crime, but that whole case is just a whole can of worms. It's crazy. If you're unfamiliar with the JonBenet Ramsey case, you really owe it to yourself to take a look. And, if you don't get infuriated by the incompetence of that case, then yeah, something's missing. Something's missing there.
There's a lot going on in that case that is just weird.
It really doesn't. There's no reason why it should be like that. But yeah, that's the thing. That's the the news on Ghislaine right now. Anyway,
that's all we have for now.
If anything comes up,
yeah,
I would like to keep updating this.
We'll definitely keep going with updates as more information becomes available. We'll throw out some more minisodes. Yeah, and yikes.
Yeah,
I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to be doing a Ghislaine Maxwell episode after her death.
Yeah, I think so too. And if anything else comes out of the cases or connections to this, to Pizzagate, to Epstein, to any of this stuff, I know we're not necessarily a true crime podcast, but I would like to keep updating on it and just kind of get the information out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to prove, because here's the thing.
Well, there's a difference. There's also a difference between true crime and conspiracy, right? Like, we're not looking at John Benet Ramsey because that's really more a true crime kind of thing, whereas Ghislaine Maxwell dying under mysterious circumstances is the same thing as Jeffrey Epstein dying under mysterious circumstances. It's not a true crime as much as it is how did it happen.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing with our upcoming episode on JFK.
Yeah. That one's gonna be
so stay tuned for that. I'm very excited about that episode, by the way.
I'm just gonna say this. Growing up, most of my, like, from high school on, whenever I looked into the 9/11 stuff and I started looking into everything and coming up with conspiracies and this, that, and the other and finding things that made more sense than the official story, my whole life then became, oh, well, conspiracy theorists are crazy. You're crazy if you believe this. You're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. And to me, it's more or less like, is it really crazy to believe something that makes more sense than the official story just because I'm told not to believe it and told to believe something else?
Right.
And this is kind of what Pizzagate is. Everyone who is bringing up Pizzagate online is told, oh, you're stupid, you're crazy. There's no way that's going on. Oh, seriously, you think there's an elite gang of pedophiles in our government in Hollywood and this, that, and the other that are doing this to children? Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at the missing children per capita each year,
it's sad. But yeah, man, it
would just be nice to see a conspiracy theory that I've been following since the beginning come to light. Is basically all I'm coming down to. I would like to see, and for the sake of children, I hope that Pizzagate isn't real, but a lot of the evidence is fishy.
There's a lot of people that have suffered because of Pizzagate.
Right.
That's
a lot of people have been silent.
Yeah.
Over Pizzagate.
So, like the entire Clinton hit list that we will, once we start having Patreon followers, you'll be getting all of those.
All those Clinton deaths.
Yeah. But okay, so that's that for now, and we'll be back. I'm pretty positive we'll be back sooner rather than later.
Probably.
With more updates as we get them. So we will see you next time, everybody. And thanks for tuning in. Bye.
See ya.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions or topics for us to cover, email us at 4guysmedianetwork@gmail.com. If you're on the go, you can subscribe to our shows on iTunes. Be sure to check out our Patreon page, 4Guys Media Network, for access to exclusive content like minisodes and more. We have a lot of goals to hit, so we can keep improving and continue providing more content ad-free. So all of your donations are greatly appreciated. Make sure you subscribe to the 4Guys Media Network YouTube channel for all of our other projects by clicking the link on the right. And lastly, if you want to watch another episode, just click the link on the left. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.